we really didn't win a single game in our league. And just going through loss after loss, some of them close losses, some of them complete defeats, but it's hard. It's hard to shake that off. It's hard to just continue to get back out there, get to practice, and continue to go, and not actually having success.
And Lord, we just ask that you give us the wisdom and strength to come out this one last time, represent you, represent Faith Academy, represent our families. We commit this time to you, and win or lose, we give our all. And we thank you. Amen.
You've got guys that haven't played together. You've got guys that played different positions. We had 4 freshmen. We lost a player early that we thought was going to have a major role, and that shifted things.
Our guys are mostly not volleyball players. Volleyball is a sport where you really need to work on the skills for years in order to be good at them. And so our guys were just inconsistent really to start the season.
So they just crumbled right into pressure situations right in the beginning of the season.
We set up a league where we knew we probably wouldn't win a game. We invited a college team. We invited teams that come in and they just kill us. And the thought process is always, it's okay, because that's how we're going to grow.
At Dan Landry, they actually showed us that they're able to bounce back when they got knocked down, which I think was a huge moment of growth for Dallas. That's when they really displayed good volleyball right in pressure situations.
And so it kind of reiterated for me that the process of being okay with losing to teams that are really good is going to help us compete and even win against teams that are more close to our levels. And I think the consistency is the key, but that comes from guys just learning how to interact with each other and learning how to emotionally deal with some of those failures and how to deal with their teammates.
Let's start strong. We have to keep the momentum. Keep the momentum. Good job. Job's not over till it's over. Limit the mistakes. Get it up as much as you can. Get it up as much as you can. Let's go.
And I think the consistency came from practice and training, but it also came from trusting each other and knowing my teammates had my back even when I made a mistake.
Swinging at 100% says I have to be the one to do it. Making the adjustment and keeping it in says I trust my team to get the next one. All right?
In the past, we've kind of navigated the number of kids we take. We're still the right perfect number, but coming out of COVID and sickness being a factor, and we said we need to take full teams, and that's a challenge because you could find yourself reaching for someone who really isn't there with everyone else, either character-wise or athletically. But I think in this scenario, it was perfect.
Since we didn't like it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's harder to manage 12 kids versus 10.
It's hard to be that 10th, 11th, 12th guy.
Yeah.
And we didn't hear complaints
About playing time or anything like that, yeah.
And so they trusted us, and they bought into what we were doing as a team. This is our second year coaching. We're young coaches, right? So, I think there's a lot to be learned.
I didn't realize how much the actual kids fueled off our energy in some regard. I thought they would just go out and be the ones that really play the game and we sit back and watch, but they could see how we reacted to the game and dealt with diversity, and when things go wrong, how do we actually handle that? It really actually paid more effective to them, and are we just going to push through this hard situation and just not let it bother us, or are we actually going to yell and cheer when they score? I think being an assistant coach and a head coach in both situations, like they really fueled off our energy. And I didn't expect that.
I think parents have to put a lot of trust into
The 27, 28-year-olds.
Coaches. I think parents have to trust us a lot to do what's best. I mean, the amount of FaceTime we get with these kids is significant. I think for me, I stepped in almost to just be a support and to cover in case it didn't work for Grady to make it. But I'm not a volleyball guy. Mark and I desperately wanted Grady to be there because Grady knows volleyball better than we do. But even beyond that, like, Grady's a very good friend, and we wanted him to be there because we wanted to experience it together.
Ultimately, my role as a father and a husband in that time is to support my family to the best of my ability. I had told my wife previously that I was at peace with whatever decision we ended up making, and that's not of me, that's through the power of the Holy Spirit, of course.
He made the right decision, and it's something that we learn in sports, that sometimes have to make sacrifices to do what's right.
I've talked multiple times with our guys throughout the year about like what we're doing on the court. Yeah, it's about volleyball, but really it's about something greater and growing character, trying to be shrewd, trying to think through things. How do we apply what we learn? And all of these, and working hard work and discipline, and how that's not just a choice that we make in the moment, but it's a habit that we develop, and all of these things combined are what make us followers. But really, we trusted what we did all season, and so it really didn't matter if I was there or not, or who was coaching. I think Coach Josh could have done it on his own, and he's a basketball guy. Coaching a team remotely is fun. Actually, the one big thing is whether I was there or not, I knew they were in good hands. And so really it was an opportunity to actually practice what I preach a little bit in terms of applying what I've been telling my guys all year long, in terms of like, this is what it means to be a father, and this is what it means to be a husband. And if you guys don't work through these hard things on the volleyball court, when things come in the future at you, these hard decisions where you're like, God, I'm not sure which one, it'll become clear the more that you pray about it. And I think they got an opportunity to see that, especially with the way that they responded to it, from what I've heard from Mark and Josh and from what the guys have told me after they got back. It sounds like obviously they were disappointed that their coach couldn't be there, but really they were super understanding and so supportive, which I think is a testament to their character and the character that they've been developing all year long.
I look at my time playing as a high school athlete, and one reason what I do now and wanting to come up and do this on my spare time is because the coaches that made an impact in my life. And Josh is definitely one of those. Josh led me as a student, and now we're friends, and getting it to do it together now as friends for the next generation coming through was just a special. Like, I didn't expect Josh to go. I didn't want Josh to go. I'd rather go with Grady, you know?
Thank you.
It was something nice, sorry. But having Josh do it there with me and just helping me navigate that was just something that was really, really special. Doing it kind of the second time around together.
I was their coach their senior year, and they had other coaches before me, but guys that were also great men who challenged and helped kids learn life skills. But like, now to see these guys on this side of it, it's like, that's what we want. You know, that's what we want for these kids 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, is that they're on the other side discipling the kids that they used to be. But I think universal across sports is failure, and the lessons that we're trying to teach these kids is that failure is okay. Failure is part of it.
I'm proud of the boys but at the same time sad kasi they exerted their efforts, but it fell short. But I'm proud of them, you know, very proud.
They need to want to win in order to push themselves to do their very best.
And most kids, and we talked about certain players who responded to failure with different emotions, and what we want by the end, and I think what we got was guys that were all over the place, and then failure didn't stop. We didn't stop failing. We had plays that we failed, we had sets that we failed, we lost some games, but the failure, the curve just starts to level out. And if you're doing that, I think you're doing your job of helping a kid learn that it's okay to fail, as long as you learn from it, and then next time you're better, and next time you're better, and not to shut down, not to get angry, not to go bonkers the next time it happens, but to be a little bit more focused so that it doesn't happen again. But all those little failures add up to learning great lessons.
We haven't accomplished anything because the playoffs hasn't started yet. So we still need to focus, stay sharp, and finish strong.
And so that for me is across every sport. I think it's why we invest so much into sports, is because that is the piece that comes from it no matter what you're doing.
Yes, we do want them to do their very best, and we also want them to win. But we'll take them playing at their best over winning if we have to.
We were like warriors out there, and I'm proud of them. So I hope we win this. Actually, I know we can win this.
And do you want to win?
Is that even a question? Of course I want to win.
The want of me wanting to win is like 100%. I'm like, if I lose, I'll be like really disappointed, because this is like what our entire season is like come up to, all the practices, all the tournaments before this. This is what it comes down to. So if we lose this, yes, I'll be disappointed, very disappointed. But I know that as long as we do it for God's glory and as long as we play our best, that's what really matters at the end of the day.
These guys have such a passion and such a drive. They absolutely love volleyball, and they love to compete. Each one of them are very sports-minded guys. So they just have the passion and the fire themselves. It's not something that we have to continue to tell them. I know personally that they have the heart. Absolutely.
I think what that comes down to is like hard work and discipline isn't just something you can turn on and off. It's a habit that you build, and that's something that's valuable that you can take with you throughout the rest of your life.
Playing volleyball helped me work harder in life. But right now I also play volleyball for a different team. But then I think it also helped me to join that team and help me develop as an athlete.
Sports is not always about winning. It's also about training you for life. It mirrors a lot of things in life, and it's like the training ground of real life. So,
as volleyball is a game that there is lots of curves, there's ups and downs, and if you don't get the flow back and reset your mind, it's hard to gain back the scores. So I learned a lot so that I should reset back from my mistakes and learn from my mistakes.
It'll help them be good men in this world, good fathers, good husbands, and working through adversity. And how do you bounce back from adversity? Well, it's being consistent with what you're doing and continuing to put in that effort that you always have put in. Mm-hmm. And I think that consistency doesn't come just randomly. It comes through hard work and discipline and keeping your eyes on the prize at the end, which ultimately for us is Jesus. So,
well, this is about something much bigger, what we're trying to teach them, teaching them that you can't get angry at your teammates because that's what's going to bring them down, but yes, they have to come together and encourage them and bring them up and lift them up in the hard times. It's not just about winning and winning right now. It's how we keep working forward and keep working hard to really grow and in volleyball and in life.
I look at this group of guys and it's like this experience, and even if we hadn't won, the experience itself creates such a cool dynamic of friendship and relationship. We've got this group of guys that will probably interact with each other in some way for the rest of their lives based on their experiences and based on leaving the country and going to another place and staying in hotel rooms together, and just the relationships that are built on the court are significant, but it's the hotel room, going to bed, talking to each other, you know, and probably not even about volleyball. Maybe they're talking about the girls they like, or maybe they're talking about the classes they hate, but they're building relationship, and I think that's one of the big takeaways when you talk about the team and the dynamics of the team. As we get out of COVID more into, like, you'll have kids with 4 years of these experiences together, and it's bonding. It's lifelong friendships are made in that, and so the character of the kids in those situations is so fun to watch as they develop socially, as they develop all these things outside of volleyball. I think it's really neat. Because we have such neat kids and because we have such high character kids.
People know the sports team, like it's up in our social media and you get news about like MVPs and stuff, but no one really knows how much hard work it goes into it if you're not a part of it. And I guess I wanted to show like how each and every player really plays a part in the team, even if they don't get as much recognition as some people do.